Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. The Raiders traded up to pick 104 and have selected Jakorian Bennett, the defensive back from Maryland. He can play corner, he can play safety, very versatile player. And if you want to be versatile in the bedroom, hey, make sure you might as well look good as well. Go to manscaped.com, use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. I know when I woke up this morning, I was sitting here saying, are the Raiders going to address their defensive backfield? Are they going to do something? Well, today they have done that. Jakorian Bennett was one of the best players still available on the board, and even though some people thought, okay, he might, like a guy like Kelee Ringo, who just got picked by the Philadelphia Eagles at 105, Bennett, to me, offers you more versatility and is a better fit with what the Raiders are trying to do. When you look at all the moves that they made in free agency, and now you look at this pick here, they want to play press man. And this is another good example of that. 23 years old, 5'10", so another little bit undersized corner, 188 pounds. But look at Tom Downey's rankings. Tom, to me, is one of the best in the biz. He is his 15th ranked corner. Don't look at that. 80th overall player. So 80th player on Downey's big board. You were able to get him at 104. This is good value, and the key word I will continue to say is versatility. Solid tackler with the toughness to play in man coverage. That's the number one note that Tom, myself, our NFL draft analyst has got from watching the tape at Bennett. That note right there should show you everything why McDaniels and Ziegler decided to go. At his best, when he goes up, try to catch the ball, making a play on the ball, he doesn't have the best feel for zone yet, but that might be able to come with time. I promise you this, Raider fans are going to like this young man here because of his tenacity, because he's a team player, he's versatile, he brings that toughness, and he's going to be able to fit here with the silver and black. So what I want to know right now is grade the pick. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. I do think that you also have to look at the trade, and I do want to show the trade details on today's show about what the Raiders had to give up to get him. So, coming up is going to be my answer, but you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. So, scroll on down while you're getting hit with that ad, and give me your grade for Jakorian Bennett in round 4, pick 104. I'm going to give this one a B-plus grade. He was one of the better players left on my board. He was a player that I thought could potentially be a fit because of the man, because of the press zone. When I woke up this morning, I tried to put a list together of guys that you might be able to look at. There was a lot of dudes out there that wanted Kelee Ringo, and I can understand the upside around Ringo. But to me, based on fit, based on this defense, Jakorian Bennett is a better fit and a better player right now in man than Kelee Ringo would have ever been. So for all of those reasons, to me, it's a B-plus grade. The Raiders this morning had pick 109. They traded up with the Houston Texans. So what they ended up doing is the Raiders, they get pick 104, pick 203. And the Houston Texans got 109 and 174. So as it stands right now, the Las Vegas Raiders just took Jakorian Bennett at 104. You then at pick 144, 203, 204, 214, 220, and then 231. Those are the picks right now for the Raiders for the rest of the draft. Now, Jakorian Bennett might not have been somebody's top player on their big board, but I want you to be your girl's top prospect this entire season. And the people that are going to help you do that, shout out to Manscaped for making today's show possible. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping. I know this. When I want to be ready for date night, I whip out my Manscaped products, and I start trimming up my downstairs. I don't want to have a George W. Bush around my Ken Stabler. I want my Nathan Peterman to actually look like the greatest of all time. And the Lawnmower 4.0 is going to help you do that. On top of that, products like ball toner, ball deodorant. If you put deodorant underneath your balls, you should probably, or you should just put it on your balls. The thing I usually say, if you put it under your arms, you should put it underneath your balls. If you want some of the most comfortable boxers that you've ever had, the perfect package is available for $87.99. Promo code Raiders, 20% off. At the end of the day, I want products that help you reach the end zone. It's not about just getting to the red zone. It's about trying to score, and she's going to like these products too. Why? Because you don't look like some homeless man that smells like one of these Bean Boozled jelly beans. So, code Raiders down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's look at his stats from last season. Jakorian Bennett, the Raiders pick at 104, 39 tackles. 2 interceptions last season, 10 pass breakups. Overall, though, in 2 years with Maryland, 5 interception, 22 pass breakups. He is tough, especially in terms of man. He ran a 4.3 40, which is very impressive. Great vertical testing as well. And to me, led all Power 5 with 29 passes defended over the past 2 seasons, where he struggles a little bit. Not that great in terms of special teams, is a little bit of a grabby player, not quite there for zone, and he does bite on fakes. Hopefully that comes with time, though. This is what the Athletics' Dane Brugler had to say on Jakorian Bennett. Bennett's lack of discipline mid-route and at the catch point created rough patches on tape, but his cover speed and knack for getting his hands on the football are traits that will follow him to the NFL. He will compete for gunner reps and defensive snaps as a rookie. So we have been waiting all draft week for the Raiders to go with the defensive back. And now you finally have that opportunity where you get a player who's going to go out there and he's going to go out and compete. One of the notes that Tom has written down here on Bennett is coaches say this dude loves football. Tom doesn't have that note very often, and so when he does, I look at that as like, I want somebody who's first dude there, last guy to leave. Somebody that eats, sleeps, breathes football, because even some of these guys that have all the talent in the world, if you don't love it, like Darren Waller, he don't love football. But now you have a young man who's going to put in the work. He's going to push some people around him, and he knows that he has an opportunity to get on the field. I like Duke Shelley. I like David Long Jr. Nate Hobbs has a lot to prove, but right now when you look at this entire defensive backfield, Brandon Faison, there's a lot of dudes that are going to be hungry and they're going to be battling. So when the Raiders decide to go with a 4-2-5 and put 5 defensive backs out there, look for Jakorian Bennett to be a competitor. Now, if you don't already know, we are live on the Raiders Report right now. Over 3,000 people tuned in. If you want to join the #1 most watched Raiders channel on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. We've been live for probably close to 20 hours over the past 3 days. We'll continue to grind it out. I got that commitment to excellence, and I always say this. Hit that sub button, and if you don't like the Raiders Report after a week, unsubscribe. It's 100% free. You got nothing to lose. So entering today, the Raiders defensive backfield look like this from the cornerback spot. You got an undersized corner in Duke Shelley, an undersized corner in David Long Jr., and then a pretty not quite an undersized guy in Nate Hobbs, but more undersized than Amik, Sam Webb, Brandon Faison. The one thing that all of these players do, they are made to play press man. The Raiders are going to be a very physical team this upcoming season, which is something that I personally love. From a Combine Pro Day standpoint, this guy's a freak. These numbers are insane. For him to run a 4.3, but then also the 10-yard, the 20-yard, the vert of 40 inches, that's bananas good. The broad jump of 11, this guy is an explosive athlete. I'm not going to worry about the bench because actually for his size, he does have some pretty long arms. So when you add up all of his athletic traits, you add the fact that he's a football player, you add the fact that he's going to be a good fit here in the Patrick Graham system, this is why I gave it a B+ grade. A's are got to be excellent. B+ to me is a good pick. I like the fact that the Raiders went ahead and they addressed the need. Still plenty of needs out there, though, that they need to address. So as it stands right now, here are the Raiders selections. They went with Tyree Wilson, edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Michael Mayer, probably the best value overall in this year's draft that they went and got. At tight end, the #1 tight end on my board, Byron Young, the defensive lineman from Alabama, fits another need. Trey Tucker is the only one where I'm kind of like swinging a miss right now. Don't 100% get why they did it. Does bring some speed. And then Jakorian Bennett, the defensive back out of Maryland, is the pick here for the Silver and Black. The Raiders' next pick, round 5, 144. And then they have 3 6, 2 7s. And that'll round out the 2023 NFL Draft. So before I leave y'all today, who do you want the Raiders to pick at 144 overall? Do you want them to trade up? We'll see what ends up going down here at 144 overall. Who do you want the Raiders to pick? If you want to get the picks before you see them on television, I am keeping you up to date here live on YouTube. But also on top of that, I'm tweeting stuff out, posting stuff on Instagram. Don't be afraid to ever interact with me. I love the nation. I love hanging out with all of y'all in person, but I get to know y'all through our social media reactions, through our live reactions. So please, don't ever hesitate. I do the show to interact with y'all. Interact with me on social media, and if you're just now watching this, maybe you're not watching it live, tune into the Raiders Report. We got 3,000 people here. I'm ready to turn this thing into a shit show. Let's have a hell of a night, and go Raiders. Jakorian Bennett, welcome to the nation.